Good evening, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with Makobura. Makobura, how are you doing? Makobura, umenisikiza ama network yako imeleta shida kiasi?
Hello, good evening. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can you please check your network because you're frozen on the screen?
Unanisikiza?
Ni kama unakwama katika screen. Sijui shida iko wapi. Hebu toka alafu jaribu kutengeneza tuone kama itakuwa sawa. Okay, thank you so much. I think we have a problem with Makobura with his network, but hopefully he will settle it so we can come back and have a conversation. Today is a Friday, and I know Friday for those who are working or for those who are not working, tunasema kwamba leo ni siku ambacho labda unaenda kujiburudisha. Na kwa hali ya kawaida unapata siku kama huu watu huwa ama siku kama hii unapata kwamba watu wanatoka kazi mapema sana. Wengine wanaenda kupigia mwili asante, wengine pia wanaenda kwa nyumba kwa sababu unapata kwamba kesho watakuwa wanaenda kanisani. Kama ndugu yetu Migoda kama saa hizi unajua ni ameenda tunasema kwamba kukaribisha, sijui Kiswahili mzuri, kukaribisha Sabato kwa lugha ya Kijaluo. Tunaenda kukaribisha Sabato, so ndugu yetu ni leo ameenda kukaribisha Sabato, but I hope he's joining us soon. So yesterday Rigathi Gachagua arrived in Seattle. We call it Seattle with Mama Boys. And from the look of things in the airport, Rigathi got a warm reception, especially for Kenyans who came to welcome him. And I think this is the first time that Rigathi Gachagua was visiting the United States, especially ever since he was impeached. And even during his time as a deputy president, I don't think he visited the United States on either official duty or just for vacation. But I think this was the first time Rigathi was visiting the United States. And to me, I think that was very good for him first, to at least aende apumzike baada being impeached, and also to at least reflect, because and another thing also, maybe we will look at maybe the reason why he might be going to United States and what could be the benefit. Makobura, you're back. How are you doing?
Okay, good evening brother. I'm doing good. I thank God. Nakusalimu pia, uhali gani? Uko mahali ulipo?
Mi niko kwema. Sijaona mabaya. Leo ni Ijumaa, kwa Kiswahili tunaita hivyo, Ijumaa. Na hapo awali nilikuwa nimesema siku kama Ijumaa kila wakati unapata kwamba kuna wengi ambao wametoka kazini na wakaelekea sehemu za burudani, na mojawapo ni kupigia mwili asante ama kupigia mwili pole kwa kazi ambayo wakifanya kwa wiki. Wengi pia kuna wale ambao labda leo wametoka tu kwaenda nyumbani, pia wakaenda wakapumzike, wasifikie sehemu za starehe. Na pia kuna wale pia ambao leo sana sana kama wa SDA ni wameenda kukaribisha ama wanaenda kukaribisha Sabato. Unajua Miguda huyo anatuambia hivyo. So naelewa kwamba leo kila mtu ako na jambo lake, lakini sisi pia hapa tuko na jambo letu ambalo tunataka kuzungumza kwa yanayojiri ama yaliyotendeka na kwa mlingo wa siasa, na habari yoyote labda itakuwa ni mzuri ili tuzungumze na rafiki zetu. Najua kuna wale ambao wataungana na sisi. Kwa saizi bado sijawaona kama wameingia, but najua watakuwepo. Wewe siku yako imekuwaje?
Siku yangu vilevile imekuwa vyema. Sijui kama unanisikiza vizuri?
Kabisa baba.
Okay, yangu imekuwa vizuri, mimi nashukuru. Kila kitu kwangu naona iko shwari. Na nashukuru Mungu. Huku upande niko kuna baridi, ile baridi ya hali ya juu, ambapo ya kwamba watu wanashangaa ni nini. I think for the first time there's a very serious cold in this month. But of course, we've always known that during this month, we've been experiencing what we call cold season. And, the climate is very cold from morning to evening, and partly in some areas it's been raining kidogo kidogo. Yeah, so that is what tunapambana nayo huku Kenya. Ama hapa Kenya vilevile mambo naye iko shwari, tunashukuru. Apart from that, of course, mambo na politics, matters of politics is a conversation that is still going on amongst the people. We are at a point where if ukitoka tu nje kwa nyumba kidogo uanze kutembea, huwezi rudi kwa nyumba bila kupata watu wanazungumza kuhusu hali ya maisha, kuhusu hali ya nchi. Sana sana people are very much concerned about the unrest and what is really happening in the Republic of Kenya, of course, based on the issues which have been coming up. Okay. Naona ndugu yetu Barak ako hapa anauliza nifanye mambo. So vilevile mimi naweza sema ya kwamba mambo iko sawa. Na sioni
Okay, sawa. Kama mambo iko shwari ni mzuri, wacha nichukue nafasi hii kumshukuru na kumsalimia rafiki yetu Gibson Kona. Natumai ama naamini kwamba uko vizuri. Naona pia hapa anakupatia mkono wa kongole kwa kazi mzuri ambayo unaofanya. Wow, Kevin Obura, just when I was about to praise you, Kiswahili lining up with brother Benson change to borrow language. Okay, sawa. Na kushukuru. Unajua bwana huyu amejaribu. Unajua ukiangalia wakati ambapo hii maneno tulianza na yeye amejitia bidii sana, na tunamshukuru. Tunaona kwamba ukifanya kazi kwa bidii unaweza vuna, na ni vizuri. Mako Bura, itabidi uendelee kukaza mkanda wako. Tukikupatia takriban tuseme kama miezi mitatu zijazo, utakuwa mwanahodari katika lugha ya Kiswahili, na itakuwa ni vizuri.
Unajua naelewa, lakini hayo mambo, lakini naweza wahakikishia tena hapa vilevile. Mimi naweza sema mimi ni yule ambaye amelelewa kwa kijiji. I was typically born and raised in an environment where everyone was speaking in Luo. And apart from Luo, it was English. So Kiswahili was like, I don't know whether do I say a third language, or I think as much as Kiswahili, we do say that it's a national language, as much as we do say that it is a language that, that is there with us. I can tell you, to some of us, especially those who are coming from Nyanza, majority, I can tell you it's not the same. Because me, the first time I started speaking in Kiswahili, hii tu ya kusema mambo, habari yako, vile nimeshawaambia story yangu hapa. Ilikuwa mara yangu ya kwanza nikikuja Nairobi. Nilikuwa class 7 by then, when we were going to class 8. And that was the first time that I did interact with watoto wenzangu wale ambao wako Nairobi. And I can tell you, within 1 month that we closed, when I went back home, insha ile ya kwanza niliandika, bahati ya mwenzio usilalie mlango wazi. Nakwambia mimi ndo nilikuwa nambari ya moja, na sijai sahau mwalimu wangu wa Kiswahili alininunulia soda kubwa ile ya Madiaba na boflo. Hiyo wakati walikuwa naita hivyo, and it was a celebration and I was actually taken before the people in this hapo kwa assembly, na akaambia watu ya kwamba it is possible that someone can come from from whichever position to the highest. It is possible. I think the whole thing maybe lies on attitude or maybe something like that. So naweza ambia rafiki yetu Saikona, Kiswahili ambacho mimi nazungumza ni kutia bidii. It is a reflection of a true kutia bidii. Sasa kwa hivyo nimefika hii mahali nimefika, munipee tu kongole na muniambie ya kwamba niko in the right direction, mambo itakuwa sawa na nitashukuru.
Okay, tunashukuru Mako Bura. Kongole tulishakupatia kitambo, hata tunaweza sema kwamba katika chumba cha ufalme wewe ni mojawapo wa watu ambao tunaweza sema kwamba ni wapwa, tuseme katika ufalme wa Kiswahili. Wanasema kwamba wewe wanakutambua, tuseme hivyo kwa lugha ya mtaa. Baraka, habari gani?
Habari mzuri sana kaka, uko vipi?
Mi kwema, za kwako?
Za kwangu pia kwa salama. Naona ndugu yetu hapa Mako Bura ameng'ang'ana kweli na Kiswahili leo. Sijui leo atalala na viatu au vipi?
Huyu kaka kwa kweli amejaribu, kwa sababu mi nakumbuka siku za mwanzo tukijaribu kumweka katika reli ya Kiswahili ilikuwa ni gumu sana, lakini kadri masiku zinazidi kuendelea tunaona pia anaonyesha kwamba kila kitu kinawezekana.
Ametia bidii vizuri sana.
Ametia bidii na kufanya kazi. Tunaona kwamba mazao mazuri ya kutia bidii katika safari yake ya lugha ya Kiswahili, na tunaamini kwa siku zijazo atakuwa ni mojawapo ya watu ambao labda tukitaka kutafuta ushauri tukitumia lugha ya Kiswahili labda tutakuwa tunaenda kwake. Asante sana. Huyu atakuwa gwiji, tutamweka kwa makundi ya aliyekuwa kama marehemu Ken Walibora Waliauli.
Niko kwa ile hali ya kukua gwinji wa lugha, na naweza kukuhakikishia na ndugu yangu Baraka hapa gwinji ambayo mimi nang'ang'ana nayo ni ile nataka nikuwe mweledi wa hii lugha, na vile nataka kuhakikishia ya kwamba hivi karibuni nitakuwa nimeanza kuita wanahabari na nitakuwa nazungumza kwa Kiswahili peke yake, ili kuwaambia wale ambao wanafikiria Kiswahili ni ngumu. Nitawahakikishia ya kwamba ni lugha ambayo tuko nayo, tukiikuza, tukizungumza, tukitengamana. Hapana, kutengamana ni kufanya nini? Acha niachie hapo. Barak, good evening. I hope you're doing fine.
Okay.
Good evening, my brother.
Okay, Barak, before we go into the main conversation, because we know Rigathi Gachagua was in United States. He landed in a state called Seattle, and at the airport he got a good reception. And you could even see from his face and the mama boys, he was really, really smiling. At least to me, I feel like that is a good therapy for him. It has always been rough for him ever since he was impeached, and coming to the political terrain by him getting out of the environment of politics and at least interact with a different environment. I think it will be a therapy for him. But there's something that I just want you to comment. I hope you've come across the issue that happened between the Liberian president and the president of the United States, whereby the president told him that, okay, you speak good English. And, some people did not take it kindly. What does that one speak to you? If you can just briefly.
Thank you. Before I respond to that, You need her so that it does not go on the record that you say that is the state called Seattle. Should be Washington. Washington State. Seattle is a city.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you.
Anyway, President Trump
Yeah.
and the president of Liberia, I think that conversation did not go very well, especially with me and others who are Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
The first of all, he is like looking down on Africa. So in this context, Liberia, I don't know whether he expected that Liberia president is going to go there with to speak his native language without understanding, and this also is a proof that he does not understand the history of Liberia as a country, because Liberia was a creation of the U.S. where they dumped some of the slaves they took from Africa to that, and they created that country. And that is why they don't have a native language, number one. And number two, they were not even colonized by any country from Europe, because it was a creation of the US. So he was surprised to see that, so we have also Africans who can speak better English than some of the Americans, in quotes. And I think the response from the Liberian president is what really angered many Africans, because of how he was responding. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Portraying that asymmetric relationship where it is the big brother speaking to the smaller brother. And that is what we call neocolonialism of that Africa is really struggling with, where we go to the US and we look at the American president like we are lesser president than the US president. That is not how African really should be treated in the global one.
Okay, before even I blame Makobura, there's also another scenario that took place, and it made me think. There was a time 2 weeks ago, and I want to give you this different scenario. 2 weeks ago, Diamond, especially a musician from Tanzania, I think he was in Europe, and there was this street interview, and he was asked a question, but the way he responded, I think like he was not able to catch, especially what he was asked, but the way he responded, and the way some people picked at it, and there are those who kind of like castigated him, like he does not know the language, and felt like that was very bad on him. And I came and asked myself, is that why is it that sometimes we are not very proud of where we come from, especially when somebody from Europe visits Africa and speak in our local dialect or even our Kiswahili, we tend to clap and it surprises us. But when we go and maybe visit this and we don't speak the way they speak, it is seen upon us like, oh, you don't belong.
Thank you so much for that. And you are opening a Pandora box, and it's very good, because we need to educate ourselves a bit.
Yeah.
Now, in political science, there's in international relations.
Yeah.
And in international relations, there's what we call instruments of foreign policy.
Yeah.
That different states employs to ensure that they control other countries. And one of the instruments of foreign policy is culture. And culture is a very, very powerful tool of foreign policy. And one of the attributes of culture is language. And that is why you see that the global south, that is Africa, South America, and and Asia, many countries have of what they call official language, and this official language is a foreign language. If you go to South America, you'll find that there's Spanish and Portuguese. In Africa, there is English, French, and some countries, about 3 to 4 countries, speak Portuguese. If you go to Asia, there's some countries have official language as English, but most countries do not have that. If you go to Europe, they have only their language. Yeah. They don't have those foreign languages. So you find that us, because of that colonial mentality, not understanding that this is an instrument that these countries are using to control us. Yeah, because culture is very powerful, because number one, it captures the minds of the person who is being oppressed, or the person being colonized. And so in our context, we have English as official language, and you've seen people being cheered because they are speaking better English or fluent English, or so on and so forth, and without understanding that English is not a measure of intelligence, number one. Yeah. And number two, this is a foreign language that has been imposed on us by our colonial master. Yeah. So that we can feel that we are also educated.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. Yeah. If you go to Tanzania, that is not the case. Tanzania have embraced Kiswahili so much to an extent that they feel so proud of Kiswahili as opposed to English. Yeah. But in Kenya, without understanding that this is neocolonialism that is happening on us, we are so proud when we speak English, not knowing that this is a way of being controlled by the owners of the language. Yeah. So English is owned by the UK, the United Kingdom, and the United States. So when we speak English, it's just an advancement of colonialism without knowing that. But do we really understand that? We don't. That's why if you don't know English, we will laugh at you as if now you are a fool, or you are not intelligent. But English is not a measure of intelligence. It is not.
You know what, Barak, just to say about and sometimes even like when we are here, we tend not to ignore, not to speak in Kiswahili again. But when you come to accent, when we talk about accent, we might say that, okay, it is that when you visit a place, you cannot speak fluently of that native language. So which means you have that an accent of it, But now when you come to the especially the foreign land, and sometimes if somebody, if you've interacted especially with that population, sometimes you might talk and somebody will tell you, okay, it seems that you have an accent. Where are you from? Yes, having an accent is not bad. One, because that is not your native language. Two, having an accent does not mean that you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. So it's also with them when other nations visit other countries, they will not be in a position to speak fluently of the language or the languages of those areas that they are visiting. So you will also have an accent. And also sometimes I usually like I think like Kiswahili, when you look at the world, Kiswahili is one of those languages that is recognized in the world, but you still find it very hard when especially our leaders who are good speaker, who speak Kiswahili very fluently, and they are in the UN or they are in the world forums, they tend not to speak in Kiswahili and wanazungumza kwa Kiingereza. Na sasa nakubaliana nao ni kwamba it is still a colonization in the making, indirectly. Makubura, what about you? What can you say? Did you interact with the video?
Yes, nilitazama hiyo video ambayo ilikuwa inapeperushwa na watu wa social media, and kile mimi naweza sema ni kwamba the continent of Africa is one of the continent that has the brightest people. The only problem we have in Africa is maybe we've not gotten the exposure in the sense that we've not gotten to environments where we can showcase the broad knowledge that we have. And I think that is what surprised the president of America, Mr. Donald Trump, because maybe he didn't know, he has never known that there are bright people in Kenya. despite the fact that they're coming from an environment that does not really give them good space to explore and to get a better knowledge. Many Africans have gone out of their ways, and with the little resources they have managed to acquire quite a lot in terms of knowledge. And when they get to these other countries that are superpowers, they have always surprised. In Kenya here, we've always seen whenever there are serious competitions which involve activities involving the brain, we've always seen Kenyans win, not once but several times. Kenya has the brightest people in Africa, and not just Kenya. Africa has the best brains in the world. If you try look at these other countries, for example, America, Gypsy Corner did confirm to you here that there was a Kenyan who did the architectural drawing of, I can't remember the exact, maybe he'll confirm. I can't remember the exact thing he did in UK. And the issues of bridge, constructions of bridge, the first people who did it in UK were Africa. And that is a clarification that Africa has the best brains. The only problem we have is that we do not have the environment to showcase our ability. We do not have the environment to tell the world of what we are capable of doing. That is what I can say. And it's not, I can't really say it's a surprise. No, the mentality of people outside there or the people in Western countries, they have the mentality that nothing good can come from Africa. Nothing positive can come from Africa. Africa is associated with negativity. And I think that is maybe what the president of US expected. But contrary to that, what the Liberian president showcased was, a clear example of the good brains that we have in Africa. On the other one that you did talk about, the issue of Diamond, I saw and I watched that video as well. And I can tell you, as an African, I'm an African, and for that reason, a Kenyan. I also struggled to really get the wordings which were used by the person who was doing that interview, because it was, yes, English, but ni ile English inaweza sema from the videos, the movies we've been watching, ni ile English ya ugeto. And I came to realize that if you go to UK or US, there's kuna kizungu ya ghetto, of which is associated with the blacks in America, and then tena kuna kizungu ingine. So ile kizungu ilikuwa ya ghetto. It was not easy for Diamond. I also even struggled to really grasp what the interviewer was talking about. So I don't think it is good for us to be judging without really getting to look into it in a deeper way or in a deeper manner. It was wrong to castigate or to come out and start laughing or commenting negatively about, they were saying that with the prowess of the gentleman Diamond, they expected more. But I think the environment where he's been brought up, being brought up in a country where they speak pure Kiswahili, I don't think it is good to justify the negativity that people were trying to have when he failed to answer or he didn't get what the gentleman or the interviewer was speaking about. So as much as English is a Westerner, it was brought to us by the colonial masters. I can say that as Africans, we have our own language. We are associated with Kiswahili, yes. And I think it is the role of governments and the head of Africa, that is the presidents. They need to do something about a language that is associated with us. Sasa mimi kama mimi hapa binafsi niko na shida ya kizungu, na si ati Kiswahili si ni kupenda kwangu. Ni kwa sababu mahali mimi ni ni vile watu wanazungumuza kizungu sana kushinda Kiswahili. Sasa najipata huko, najipata nazungumuza kizungu kushinda Kiswahili, na as an African I advocate for Kiswahili. I've always spoken about it, and Kiswahili ni lugha yetu, tuikuze na itakuwa na sisi. Hivyo basi tukienda upande hizo zingine nazungumza na wanatutambua na Kiswahili yetu.
Haya, sawa sawa kaka, tumekuelewa, na itabidi sasa ukue mwanaharakati ambao anapigania nafasi ya lugha ya Kiswahili katika jamii ambayo tunaishi na ulimwengu, na tutakupatia tunasema support yetu. Thank you so much, everyone. That was just by the way. And Barak, today what happened was that the new Iebc took oath of office, and there's so many things that, especially the chair, especially of the Iebc, talked about. He talked about democratic values in his speech. He talked about democratic values. He talks of building more resilient nation. He talks about challenges, misinformation, and fake news. That is the challenges that he's going to deal with. He talks about working with news outlets, especially when it comes to public awareness and educating the public. And also he said that he will ensure some of the things that, as he works with the local news outlets, he will make sure that he ensure, educate, and inform the public. And he said something, they will focus on actual truth to build the trust between the people and the commission and other institutions. That is also something that I grasped from his speech. Then he talked about something like, through information, we build a credibility in our institution. That is something that he also said. And he said that credibility in election is not for Iebc, but is a national responsibility. Very strong word. Especially from the chair. And right now, as the Iebc, they were sworn in, there's so many things that await them. First of all, we are talking of general election, that is 2027, especially right now, because we would say that we are only 2 years away from general election. Another thing also we have to look at that awaits them are the elections in various wards. We have constituencies, so that one also is here. We also have the issue of voter registration. We have voter procurement and materials, putting an office in order. These are quite a lot that is taking place right now. Await the Iebc that took office today, especially the commissioners and members. Now, my first question to you, what is your take on what awaits the new Iebc?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And the chair of the Iebc really spoke about so many things.
Yeah,
but that is normal when you are new in office. There's a lot of expectation on your shoulders, and when you get back down to work, that's when you realize that grau vitu ni tofauti sana. So the problem of electoral management in Kenya, it's trust. And why is it that we have problem with trust? It is because of our political culture, where nobody trusts nobody. You understand where you are, that even people even vote through mail.
Yeah.
In Kenya, can you even think of that?
No, you cannot.
Because of trust.
And even absentee votes, you can vote. There's what we call absentee votes. You are somewhere outside the country or outside that state, but you can still vote through absentee votes. So they are also counted.
But in Kenya, our politicians are telling the youth, "Mukisha piga kura, mulinde kura yenu." So imagine if a polling station has 600 voters, and about 500 votes, and all of them are in that polling station securing their vote. Can you imagine how that scenario will be? So
Very
the problem
crowded.
is our political actors. Are they willing to allow IEBC to work independently? Yeah, because you can name even independent electoral and boundary commission. The word independent is just a name. Eh? Are actors willing to allow this commission to act, to perform their mandate, to execute their work independently, the way the name suggests? Because if our political class keep on casting doubt on the IBC, the independence of the commission. You have seen how the selection of these commissioners has been always in court. Even yesterday, the news, the media houses were reporting something else, and to clarify the same, and the president had to regazette again the names. So you can see how trust deficit is eating us as a society, especially when it comes to politics, because of vested interest in this commission. Right now, we have about 8 constituencies that they need to carry by a by-election, and this is going to be an acid test to them, how they are going to handle these by-elections. Because we have, for example, in Bere, where Ruku was the member of parliament, it's going to be hotly contested. And this is going to be an acid test to this commission because of the obvious reasons that this battle of the Mount Kenya region, and this being Mount Kenya East, there's going to be a battle between Kindiki and Gachagua and their influence in that specific constituency. So are politicians going to allow the IBC to conduct this by-election, free and fairly, without casting doubt on their capacity to carry out a free and fair election? Now, after this, I don't know if they are still going to carry out a boundary review, because that was supposed to be done, I think, last year. And it just slipped because we didn't have commissioners in office, but right now we have them. And if they undertake that task, I'm assuring you, we are going to have a lot of politics, because there are some constituencies that are supposed to be dissolved and merged with others, and you know what that means. Now, 2027 is just around the corner, and you can see how we are already in a campaign mood as a country, 2 years to election, and when listening to political actors, especially those who are like national leaders, their utterances, and those who are supporting the president, those who are on the other side who want to unseat the president, their utterances, undermining an institution for politicians is very easy. When you say that this guy, that if we don't get enough votes, we will add votes, you are undermining the credibility of the institution who are supposed to oversee that election. Yeah. And when you say that we cannot accept any other result apart from this result, already you are undermining the credibility of this commission to undertake a free and fair election. So it is incumbent upon our political actors to guard their tongues, because it is through their tongues that they undermine the electoral commission to an extent that the results that they announced, that they tell us, we are not willing to accept. You saw how Chebukati was treated even in his death, because of politicians, what they say, and how they conduct themselves. So you as a commissioner, you as a chair of the commission, whatever you do, once we are told by our opposition that these people are corrupt, they have given us wrong results, and that because these politicians command millions of followers. That is what they will take us the gospel truth. So I really sympathize with this commission right now. I can assure you, because our political environment is not conducive for reason right now, and they have a very difficult task to ensure that the electoral results of 2027 is going to be acceptable by the majority of Kenyans, if not all. Because if it is disputed, I can assure, because right now we don't even have. You remember 2022? Even when the Supreme Court made a declaration on the electoral petition, people still believed otherwise, and that is why people hated Chebukati to the extent that even in his death, they still wished him the worst, even after he has died. So the responsibility rests on the commission and also on the political actors, on how they conduct themselves during this period that we are heading to 2027. It is going to either they undermine the commission and then the capacity of the commission to deliver free and fair election, or they allow the commission to carry out its mandate without external interference.
Okay, thank you so much. And before I even engage Makobura, because the reason why, like, I tend to agree with you, and especially with commission, because right now as we speak, if you get what some of the opposition leaders, some of them are saying that this commission is not a Kenyan commission. This is a commission that is there for President William Ruto. This is a Ruto's commission, and and you're saying this, and you have like influence, and the same times the people who are in the President William Ruto camp are saying that sisi tutajaza. So you see that information. So there's a information that is being relayed in the population, especially to people. The two people who are receiving it, some are saying that this commission is not our commission, and this commission hata kama iko tutajaza. How can we bridge that gap, especially with politicians, knowing very well that now we are dealing with a very volatile situation, especially when it comes to matters of, especially presidential election. Forget about this as an election. It was wishing the presidential election.
That is the reason why I said I really sympathize with this commission, because they are between a rock and a hard place. And I think I think what they can do as a commission is to communication, how they communicate what they are doing and how they are doing it. Very important. Because if we have a communication breakdown between the commission and the public, then that will even increase the trust deficit that is already existing. Because opposition leaders has already started disowning the commission. Even though they had their representation in the selection panel, but they already started disowning the commission. And remember, the commission is going to carry out an election in the whole country. And the outcome of the election will affect the whole country. So as when one section is disowning the commission, they are preparing their supporters to disown the outcome of the 2027 presidential election, which is setting the stage for crisis and chaos and mayhem. So the commission must ensure that there is transparency, especially in their communication to the public. They have to ensure that they keep the public informed on everything that they are doing, especially pertaining the tendering procurement process of the electoral materials. That is where the problem starts. You remember the previous commission, and people went to court, and it was it's like we were living in court, and the election is being prepared until the court gave a verdict in the eve of election that the commission must use the books, the hard copy, the records of the hard copy of the electorate. So they should communicate. They should enhance proper communication channels between them and the public, and they should also ensure that they carry out extensive and effective civic education. That's where there's a big gap. And I doubt if Parliament will allocate sufficient funds for this, because this is always done intentionally. You create a crisis because you know you are going to benefit from that crisis. That's how Kenyan politics sometimes works. Because if they not allocate sufficient funds, that civic education will not be done. Now they will just be advertising on the media and hope that maybe that is civic education. That is not civic education. They must go to the grassroots, carry out civic education professionally, so that the person at the grassroots understands their role. Because the major challenge we're having in this country is that people go to vote without understanding the consequence of voting because they lack civic education. So if they can carry out proper civic education and ensure that the public is well informed on their duties and responsibility as citizens, I think maybe they can contribute in reducing the number of those who are going to oppose the outcome of the 2027 election.
Okay, thank you so much, Gibson. What I was thinking on this, I was just thinking like based on what he went through, and maybe based on the environment where he was. But I think now by coming to United States, he will not be having that the tense political arena, especially in Kenya. So by him being there, that can be like a physical therapy. But I'm not saying that he's leaving politics. Among other things, I know is going for funds, especially because you know that campaigns require a lot of money. So we'll also have to mobilize. We'll also have to talk to people about what they're planning to do as an opposition or government in waiting. I don't know, but that's where I was trying to bring my thought. So Makobura, let me also engage you, because we know this is coming at a time where especially the commission, especially the chair of the IEBC, we've seen the history of the chair of IEBC bringing back to Kivitu, then come to Hasaka Hassan, then bring it to the late Chebukati. There is how the public has always related to that office, especially the chair. And right now, as we especially look at the anger that the young people have, and how they usually treat the leaders, what should he actually do, especially to make sure that those tempers and that history that has always been with the chairs does not befell him?
Okay, thank you. First, the team that has been brought forth, that is the chairman of the IEBC and the commissioners, I can tell you that they have a long way to go in matters of running that particular independent, that independent section where, they act as referees in matters of election. I can say here that it's not going to be an easy task for them, because remember, the timeline somehow has gone. The required timeline, we've somehow surpassed it with some few months. And so they really have to do a lot in matters of understanding their role, in matters of understanding the whole IBC and what it means and what they are expected. Of course, while they were being interviewed, they proved to have understood what is required of them. But I can categorically say that it's not as easy as they think, because that is the only department that is, one of the independent department that is very crucial in deciding for the country, in, refereeing, an election. And you know how election has been. Election can take countries down. Election can bring confusion, can bring chaos. And so the role is not as easy as they think. And again, if I watched the Chief Justice, Martha Koome, he did mention and he advised them that, you are going to hold a position that is not anything little. It is a position that is very, very sensitive. sensitive in the sense that, the determination and the decisions that they make really means a lot in the sense that, it can decide whether a country is going to continue prospering or it can take the country down. And, I wanted to say that we've had matters of previous conflicts during elections, and the people who have ever held those positions, either some of them have resigned because of issues of misunderstanding, either matters of integrity. Some of them have maintained the journey and walked the journey at a point where people are having different views. And, out of that, some of them have actually been cast by the people of Kenya. And even if you see how their lives have been ending, some of them have been dying just like they are not, they have been dying, some of them, in a way that the people are wondering whether that job should be fit for a Kenyan who really, who really understands what it means. It is the only job in Kenya that when you're going for, it is like a death sentence. You either decide that you're going to be a monkey for some period after finishing the period of being a monkey, you now decide whether you are coming back to be a human being or you are going to maintain being a monkey. So it is a very sensitive docket. It requires a lot of integrity. We've seen matters of integrity being issued. We've seen matters of the kind of relationship, between the gentlemen who have been elected and the political class, and that has been an issue that has been raised. I think as much as they're getting into this position, they should know that the expectation of the people of Kenya, there is, kuna hii mambo ya one term, two term, how the one term is going, how the two term is going, and the differences and the consistent demonstration. That tells you that if anything messes, the country is already at a point of either breaking or, they have the capability of either saving the country or breaking the country. So matters of integrity, it has to be at par, but I wonder if it is going to be, because so far there are so many issues which were raised by the opponents. And my wish is that I think they would have sorted the issues, because remember, they're going to be referees. If you are a participant of what we call a game, vile kama ndugu yangu hapa Barak jana alikuwa anatuambia that the only team in the world that is known is Manchester United, and he was castigating and saying that Rwanda should not be but Rwanda has gone too far. I mean, the president of Rwanda has gone to a point where Rwanda is being recognized and they're advertising Arsenal. And so I was telling him that, the league really matters in in those matters. So in short, I'm saying that there are issues which have already been raised, and them as the referees, they need to stand still and be at a neutral point, because the sensitivity among the people of Kenya will tell you that it's not going to be a walk in the park. With any decision that they are going to make, whether on a biased section, whether they're going to, if they try to be biased, it is not going to be a business as usual. It is going to be something else. If they maintain...
let me ask you, how will you measure the biasness, especially how do you say that this is biased, this is not biased?
Oh, you want to know this is biased and this is not biased?
Yeah, because the reason why I'm asking
the writings are already on the wall. The writings are already on the wall, and it is very clear, and it is written with I don't know, the fountain pen. It is a Wezi rab. So yeah, so I'm not going to really dwell much on it, but I can say that a lot of integrity we want to see integrity. Without integrity, it is not going to be easy. And I think the best thing they would have done is they would have tried to look into the accusation. Remember, these matters were even taken to court. The issues of relationship with the political class, the issues of them coming, I don't know, from one region, northeastern, it was taken to the court. The issue of and Ritu being nominated, it was also taken to court because there were grounds or issues concerning whether she had resigned, whether she, it was being said that she applied for the position when she was still serving, and so that was like so whichever whatever I'm speaking about is a valid reason, and my thinking is they needed to have sorted those issues and concluded in a way that it does not then affect the public beliefs and the thinking of the society.
Okay.
So that is what I can say about the IEBC. But the gentlemen, from where I sit, I think they have the capability. But my only worry is the relationship they have with the political class. And then my other worry is, why is it that the government or the people who are being given this position, they're just millionaires and millionaires? That is the only worry that I also have. In a government that promised the people of Kenya that they're going to give it job to the hustlers, we have hustlers who are learned, but they're not getting the position. That is the only worry and the only pain that I have. And I know that a youth, from where I sit, me as a youth, I cannot my future messing my future by engaging in acts of which are going to destroy my future. I cannot engage into activities which are going to affect my professionalism and the professional ethics. These people who are being given this position at when they're almost exiting, they don't care. Them wengine wanasema kama wale wengine, unakumbuka, I give you a good example. Remember kina Kivitu took the position, akasema kama mbaya at long last my timing is almost there, and all those things. And it was an issue that made the country to suffer a lot. We lost quite a number of people. There were conflict in the entire country, courtesy of decision which was made in a rushed way, decision which was not truthful. Come to the other time, even during the time of during Isaka sana watu hawakukufa sana, lakini hata hii during hii ingine pia watu wameteseka, lakini tuna move on. Tunawaambia tu tafadhali, tunataka people ambao wanasema ukweli.
Okay, thank you so much. And let me engage our brother Joseph. Joseph, I hope you're doing fine. And the issue here that we are discussing, a conversation, is about the IEBC, the new members of IEBC. We can call it new IEBC that took oath today. And they're coming at a time when there is that misinformation that sometimes we might be getting, lack of trust between Kenya and between majority of Kenyans, and even the process on how it was conducted. And now they're in office. Do you see a way in which the new members, together with the chair, can build the trust of Kenyan people so that everything that they do will not be questioned at this particular timing?
Hello guys, how are you? I saw another video. Brother Kevin, muna inject kabisa, mnasema risasi kwa mguu eh? I saw that video. So you asked a good question about IEBC. We lost faith in them, and the faith is not coming back, because even the commissioners themselves, if you look at them, we have one of the commissioners called Anderitu. Anderitu, if you have looked at her past, she's a lady who was finishing other parties. You remember she's the one who was cleaning up the mess for William Ruto and putting other parties under siege. So what do we expect from people like this, people who have this kind of backgrounds? Do you expect them to give us credible elections? No. So the faith with them is not there. But let them know one thing. If they don't deliver credible elections to Kenyans, let them know that it will be a very dark day for Kenya. They will take us back to the dark days like the 2007. If they don't deliver for us the credible elections, we are not threatening them. But this is just a warning to tell them that if they don't give us credible elections in 2027, it will be bad for them. And as our brother Kevin has said, that job is for people who is like for your retirement benefits. It's like that time you're going for your retirement. So let them be assured that if they try that, it will be very bad. So for them and Kenyans, we have lost trust.
Yeah.
If the trust is no more, we are going to see how they are going to conduct the by-elections.
Yes.
We have so many by-elections. I heard for the MPs we have 6 by-elections. For the senatorial we have 1, and for the MCAs we have 15. So we have a lot of by-elections and mini elections we need to do.
Yes, the senator for senatorial is where Kipchumba Murkomen was, right? Because he first of all, right? Because Kipchumba Murkomen was a senator. He was first of all elected as a senator, then appointed as the CS. And who else?
Yes, and MPs we have 6. We have Kasipul Kadonyo. Kasipul
Kabondo.
Kabondo. Yeah, we have Kasipul Kabondo. Kevin is here, he'll help me. And we have another one in I was reading them today. I saw them in the papers today.
We have
Kasipul
Kabondo. We have Opio Wandai's place.
Yes, Opio Wandai. We have Rocco place. You know Rocco?
Yes.
Then we have there's 2 more. There's 2 more. One is in the coastal region.
Mombasa. The one that was nullified.
Yeah, we have one there, and we have another one also. I think also in the western region we have one more. We have like 6. I saw them today, but MCAs are too many. The MCAs they are too many because even the MCAs who have died, we have too many MCAs that are going to be done mini elections. So they have a very hard task. I had my brother here, Barak, saying they need to do. It's called what? Civic education. So they have a lot of things to do. We also need them to tell us if the constituencies that were told they are going to be brought down, there's constituencies that we were told they are going to be deleted. We need to know if they are going to be deleted before we go for the elections. So they have a very hard work, and they need also to put their systems correctly, because if the systems are going to do the same way they did in 2022, I assure you, it will be a very dark day for them. So this guy Ethercon, his name is Ethercon. Yeah, he has a very happy task when he's going to undertake this one. But let us see what they are going to do with the mini elections. You see how it is going to take place. And now there, in the mini election is when they are going now to kama watakuwa kipimana nguvu. So that already we have kicked off the campaigns, brother. There is no other campaigns we are waiting for. The campaigns have been officially kicked. So we are not waiting for another 2026 campaign. Imeanza. Because they will start with this mini elections campaign. Na najua kuna wale watashinda na wale watalose. So itabidi kutakuwa kunoma. After that, now it will be campaign mode till 2027. So if he did not do anything to rescue himself, if Ruto did not do anything to rescue himself the days he was given, let him know now people have entered in campaign mode. Na hiyo itakuwa ngumu bwana.
Okay, Mr. Barak, Joseph, thank you so much for your contribution. Let me come to Mr. Barak. Barak, now, because now we know that the officers have taken the oath, and the election is not only going to be about electing the politician, it's also going to be about the electorate, the people who wants to make the decision, and this agitation that has been for the youths, especially the constituency of Gen Z. What should now be their priority, especially as the Gen Z, because now the IEBC in place right now? What should be their priority, and what should be the priority of all Kenyans, not only to the places that are going to experience those mini polls?
Thank you, Brother Ben. I don't know if I've not even priority in terms of anyway. I think priority of Gen Z should be to register as voters, especially those who have not registered so far, because we can discuss so many things, but if you're not registered as a voter, there's no way you can make a change. because we believe that you can change the government through the ballot, and you can only do that if you are a registered voter. And those constituencies that are going to undertake by elections, they have to vet or assess those who are vying, those candidates, and ensure that for the remaining 2 years, they have they elect legislatures who are going to at least do something, because there are constituencies that I believe are like that one in northern, from northeastern. Is it Banisa? From 2023, they've never had a member of parliament, and you know, it's also unfair for people of that constituency. Another constituencies like Ugunja constituency, Malava constituency, where Mululu Injendi passed away. No,
there's one in Coast, I think in Kilifi.
Yeah, in Kilifi.
Yeah, there's also one in Kilifi.
And also the recent one in Kasipul, Kabondo Kasipul, the Kasipul constituency. So you find that the electorate from these constituencies have been without representation for some time, especially Banisa, and you find that they need to elect people. Especially, I know their constituency like Ugunja is going to be a local derby between between local ODM and those other politicians, they like MDG and so forth. But Mbeere constituency, where Ruku was representing, I believe that, is it north or south? I believe that is going to be a very stiff competition between UDA, led by Kindiki Kithure, Professor, and DCP by Rigathi Gachagua, the former deputy president. So other constituencies might not attract much attention because there will be no much competition. But you know, politics is very interesting, where the competition is very intense, and it's always neck to neck. So that is what makes it so interesting. But in MCAs, I believe there are also some ones that are going to draw much competition based on where these wards are. I think was it Kariobangi North or something, where an MCA died here in Nairobi. So such wards are going to attract a stiff competition from different political parties. And also there is that we want to see who has the bragging rights between UDA, ODM, and the new kid in town, DCP, especially in Nairobi, because Nairobi has a lot of interest, being the capital of Kenya, and want to see who is bragging in this seat in terms of political rights. So I think Kenyans just need to understand that elections is not a do or die thing. It's not a matter of life and death. So even as we carry out campaigns, even as we look forward to electing people that we believe are the best according to us, let us not take it as if it's a matter of life and death. That if my candidate loses, then somebody else has to pay the price or start violence and everything. That is when our democracy will be maturing, because right now we are emerging democracy. We are not there yet. But how we conduct our politics matters a lot, because democracy, it dictates that you elect your leaders peacefully. Once those who are elected are in office, they serve, and they are replaced when the time comes through the same way they are elected. So I think the priority of Gen Z should be to register as voters, let them get those voters cards, and wait to elect their most preferred candidate in 2027. And those who are coming from these constituencies and these wards, let them assess these leaders and elect those that they believe will serve their interest in the remaining years before 2027. Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, Barak, for giving us your take. Maybe my final question to you, maybe you can give your take on these ones. One, what is your take on the residents of Kiambu? Wameamua kwamba wachange pesa ili wajenge mahakama ile ambayo iliteketezwa June 2025. And then there was also comments from Raila, the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, ambapo alikuwa anasema ya kwamba alikuwa na kashifu kwa vikali zile agizo la maafisa wa polisi kuwapiga risasi raia wanaopatikana wakipora mali wakati wa maandamano, akitaja kuwa ni ukiukaji wa katiba na kanuni za haki. You can give us your take on that as well, and maybe you've always known the politics of governorship of Nairobi. You remember last time the Azimio side wanted to front Tim Wanyonyi, the member of parliament of Westlands, but upon interaction, and since they were in what we call that coalition, out of that spirit they came up with someone else, and now Tim Wanyonyi was somehow seen as a competitor of Sakaja for some time, but recently he's been quiet, and the last time we saw him is now in Bungoma, na ametangaza azma yake ya kuwa gavana huko Bungoma, na anasema atawania kiti hicho huko Bungoma, si Nairobi tena. Maybe you can also just give us your take on that, and the comments of either the leaders. You saw there was the burial of the gentleman in Murang'a, jamaa wetu wa Mask ambaye aliuliwa. You saw there was the former deputy president Kalonzo was there, Okiamtata, and they're all calling out the president, and they're saying that because of those kind of moves, because of those kind of killings, there is a possibility from the side that they are not going to, to accept that. And there was also the son of member of parliament, Peter Masara, was also being, buried today. And, he also had what he had to say. And the leaders there also, partly Babu Owino, castigated the move of shoot to kill, while others, the likes of other members of ODM, said that they are still in government and they will stand with truth. Maybe you can give us your general comments on those, and then we'll call it a day. There's also a comment here from Gypsy Corner saying, I don't know that in Kenya, a politician can jump from one house to another, MCA to something else, governor to something else. Maybe your take.
Thank you so much for those numerous questions and comments. Let me start by commenting on what Gypsy Corner said. In Kenya, we don't have political parties. What we have is called special purpose vehicles for politicians to acquire or maintain power. These are just special purpose vehicles that are created by these politicians to help them either acquire power or maintain power. And that is why, if you look at the recent history of Kenya since 2002, even the president has not defended his seat using the same party that brought him to power. So that is an indication that they use the so-called political parties as special purpose vehicles, but not a political party. They don't have ideologies, they don't have principles, they don't have values. That is why they can have the same party in the morning, taking breakfast, have lunch in a different party, and go to and have dinner in a different party, and they will be shamelessly defending their position as they jump ship every now and then. So that is Kenyan politics. No values, no principles, no ideologies, nothing. They're just using parties as special purpose vehicles. Now, Mark, you've talked about the residents of Kiambu contributing to construct the court that was destroyed during the Gen Z commemoration of 25th of June 2025. Courts, police stations, government vehicles, those are public properties. And once they are destroyed, it is upon the public to ensure that they are either rebuilt, reconstructed, or renovated, because those are not private property, they're public properties. Even if they don't do that, our taxpayers, our money from our taxpayers, taxes will be used to construct this, because it is the taxpayers' money that was used in the first place to construct these police stations, these courts, and also buying government vehicles. So it is a good thing that they've tried that they are doing that, because it is the court is serving the community in that specific locality. So because they know what they are missing right now, because I know that cases that were there that are being transferred to maybe far away court, and now it forces them to travel to a far distance to ensure that they access justice. So if they can contribute and ensure that the court is rebuilt in the shortest time possible, I think it is good for them, because it's going to serve the people in that specific locality. So that's a good gesture from the people of Kiambu, especially from Kikuyu constituency. You talked about Tim Wanyonyi declaring that he's going to vie for the gubernatorial race in Bungoma County. I totally agree with Tim Wanyonyi. You know, Tim Wanyonyi is a member of ODM, and ODM refused to give him the ticket in 2022 to vie for the gubernatorial race in Nairobi, and he was the most preferred candidate in Nairobi at that time. And since he was not willing to go as an independent candidate, he decided to agree with the ODM decision for him to vie in Westlands as a member of parliament and leave the gubernatorial race to Polycarp Igathe, due to the arrangement that were there at that time between ODM and Jubilee. Even knowing very well that Igathe was not the most preferred candidate, if you talk to the people of Nairobi at that time. And as a result of that, Sakaja won, and you can see the result of Sakaja's leadership right now in Nairobi. So I know that Tim Wanyonyi sees that ODM also is in partnership with UDA right now, and you can see that Sakaja and Raila right now, they're having a very good relationship, because Sakaja knows that Raila might throw his weight behind him in 2027 election, and that will ensure that ODM does not have a candidate in Nairobi 2027. So Tim Wanyonyi, being a very wise politician, he has seen that, and he does not, they say once bitten, twice shy. He does not want to risk again, build your capacity, and now your party lets you down. So let him go and try in Bungoma County, because he has ambitions to be a governor in this country. And I think he stands a chance. He's a good leader. He has a good track record in Westlands constituency. And he's one of those leaders who are very sober. I've never had him being driving a tribal narrative or playing tribal politics. Even though he's a brother to Moses Masika Wetangula, he has never used that as a bargaining tool. Remember, he's a special need person, and he has never used that to get favors from anybody. He has been fighting for whatever he has. And even in Westlands, he did not seek politics as through the back door, like Mwaura. You know Mwaura, Isaac Mwaura. He did not, or Lesankok. He just offers his candidature, and he went in, he threw in the towel, and he was elected. He has been elected twice, I believe so. So I know he has the capacity to win in Bungoma and become the next governor after Ken Lusaka retires in 2027. I know that Bungoma, this guy, Titimas had already declared also his interest in the seat, and I hope that they are going to have a way to ensure that Didmas Baraza supports Tim Wanyonyi, because he is also a force to reckon with in Bungoma County. And if they go head to head, I am afraid, because Didmas ni jogoo ya mashambani na Tim Wanyonyi ni jogoo ya mjini, I am afraid Didmas might whitewash, because he's jogoo ya mashambani, unajua anaelewa the terrains and everything back there. And and Tim Wanyonyi being a jogoo wa mjini, he might not make it if Didmas goes and also vies for the same seat. So I hope they will have a arrangement to ensure that he becomes the only candidate that is very serious in Bungoma County come 2027. You also talked about the comments of Raila condemning Ruto's shoot orders. I think any serious leader in this country will have a problem with directive from the president telling police to shoot citizens, even though they are committing crime, because we have a judicial system where our justice system requires that if you commit a crime, you are arrested, you are presented to the judicial system, and the judiciary will decide whether you are convicted and jails you or release you, whatever way. And we have correctional facilities, we have jails all over the country. So when the directive comes that you are supposed to be shot first, then later on you are taken to the courts, I think any leader who understands human rights will not be comfortable with that. So we expected that Raila will comment on that. And even though they are in partnership with the William Ruto, he was to come out and declare himself that he is not in support of this kind of directive from the president. And ideally, any sane person will agree with him that that is the way to go. You do not just support anything for the sake of it, even though you are in political partnership. And also you talked about the comments of leaders in Migori, the burial of the son of the Suna West Member of Parliament. And I think, there are some leaders that you don't take them seriously. They just talk for the sake of talking. But there are also leaders who will address issues that are affecting the common mwananchi. So you had Babu Wino condemning the shoot orders. That's well noted, and that is him also being a lawyer and also a leader that is being embraced by most of the young people, especially in Nairobi. So that was expected from him. And also Junet also talked about the support for the government and everything. So that was just addressing that the local community of Suna West, sorry. So there are leaders that you can take their words so seriously, and there are others you can just say, wacha waseme tu, watachoka tu. And you also talked about leaders who went to the burial of Boniface Mwangi in Kangema. So you find that the most unfortunate thing in this country is that there are some people who politicize tragedies of the poor people. And sometimes you sympathize with the families because they can do nothing about it. But that is the nature of our politics. You find that we come there and we play politics with your death, and we even, I heard that Kalonzo was proposing that a road in Uranga County be named after Boniface Mwangi. And this is pure politics. But that is what politicians do. What else do you expect them to do? Especially those who are the likes of Kalonzo, Eugene. They don't have any other job. They are not in parliament. They are not in cabinet. They are not doing anything else apart from politicking. So it is well to politics, but sometimes it is always good to respect also the family who have lost a loved one, because they are grieving. This young man was just hustling, and it's unfortunate that he was shot by a police, and the person who recorded that did justice to that young man. Because if we could have not seen that recording, I can assure you this thing could have just been rubbished, and no police officer could have been held to account. But it is good that someone recorded that, and they managed to get hold of this officer who fired the bullet and killed this young man. And so it is good that this police is already being charged with murder. And I believe that finally Boniface is going to get justice when this police officer is going to maybe to be jailed for life, because that is the highest he can get in according to our constitution, life imprisonment. And the family will get justice because of the brutal murder of their kin, who was just in town trying to earn a living through selling of masks. And I think this should be a lesson to police officers who are just, you how do you aim to someone in the head and you pull the trigger? Sometimes you just wonder what kind of society we're living in, and what training some police officer go through. But since in a society where people are many, we must find others who are rogue, like this one, aiming at the head of someone and just pulling the trigger. That was unfortunate, and the guy is arrested, and the police officer is being charged with murder. So let's see how things will unfold, and I think that was very good for the person who recorded that kind of criminal activity going on. I believe that I've responded to all the question that you raised, and if there is one that I've forgotten, let me know.
Barak, you have a very good memory. You have a very good brain, I can confirm. You've tackled everything that I did mention. I did ask you in a systematic way. And that is so nice. I really appreciate. I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge our viewers and to say a big thank you. Asanteni sana kwa wale ambao mlipata nafasi mkajiunga na sisi jioni hii ya leo. Acha nitambue Brenda Obedi hapa kwa at the YouTube side. Thank you so much, Brenda. Gypsy Kona, asante sana for also engaging us. We really appreciate. Allow me to say a big thank you to Mr. Gitonga. Asante sana Gitonga kwa kupata nafasi kujiunga na sisi na kutupea maoni yako. Tunasema ni asante. Mabela, asante sana. Joseph Kariuki, asante sana pia kupata nafasi na kujiunga nasi huko kwa studio na kutupea maoni yako. Tunashukuru sana. Vilevile acha nitambue Taiwo. Asante sana Taiwo kwa kupata nafasi kuja kutupea maoni yako pia. Tunashukuru sana. And everyone who joined us and watched us, and maybe you never commented, we really appreciate. We don't take it for granted. We really say a big thank you for your support. If you're watching for the first time, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, and we'll say a big thank you. Barak, maybe I'll give you time to give us your final remarks.
Thank you. And let me start by responding to this Gypsy Corner talking about we have to vet and read the politicians carefully. They blind and bribe the public once, and they are voted in, they change their characters. They will sing the same hymn but drop the Bible down. I totally agree with the Gypsy Corner. And I think the best regime, the best example is the current regime. All the things that they were saying before they got elected, and even the promises that they were issuing, and they went to the churches, and it's like they were the candidates of the church. And if you remember the prayers that were done at Kasarani when they were being sworn in, and it was just all gymnastics. Even they were saying tukiweka tu Biblia chini hivi we are going to do ABCD. So I encourage Kenyans, let us be objective when we are voting these politicians. Don't be fooled. Yeah. You know, let me just say this before we go off air, Bwana Mark. You know, Ruto fooled Kenyans when he was the deputy president until Kenyans believed that he was now the savior. Yeah. And Kenyans voted for him. And you remember Uhuru. Now Ruto was voted in that now he's going to save Kenya from the problem that Uhuru put us in. Now, after falling out with Gachagua, now Gachagua is now now Gachagua is now seen as now the savior who is going to save Kenya from the problem that they put us in with Ruto. Seriously, Kenyans, let us be objective when you are vetting these politicians. These are the same, I said yesterday here, they are children of the same mother. They have shared the womb. They have breastfed from the same breast. So they are not, there's none that is different from the other. So be objective when you're vetting them, and maybe we will reduce the chances of being disappointed after electing them. Thank you so much, all our viewers who joined and all our co-panelists who have already left. We are looking forward to seeing you again. Continue supporting us by liking the channel and also joining us when we are on air, commenting, engaging us with questions and comments. And let us also use this platform as a way to educate our people, as a way to do civic education, because we are learned, but in terms of civic education, we do not understand our responsibility as citizens. And we can also do that and contribute to educating our public in terms of political responsibilities, because that is the biggest problem in our country. We are very good in everything else, but when it comes to politics, we score very poorly because of how we make political decisions. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.
Okay, thank you so much, Barak, for also finding time to be with us and to giving us your take. We really appreciate. I can see our good friend Laban Misiani. Laban Misiani, unakuja kama tunatamatisha. Jameni. Hata hivyo bado tunakutambua na tunashukuru kwa vile umekuwa na sisi hapo ukijiunga na sisi na ukitupea maoni yako. Tunashukuru sana. Thank you so much for finding time and joining us this evening. And Barak Gipsaikona is saying, thanks, Barak. I keep learning from you, the panelist. Good night, Barak. You know, Gipsaikona, something I should tell you about Barak is a professional in matters of politics, in the sense of politics. So he's not just a professional. I don't put it. He's an expert in that docket, and that is why we really appreciate the fact that we have with us here, and he has been educating us and giving us the full view on how matters of politics handled in a scientific way and also in a broader way. So we really thank him, and just for always finding time to be with us. We appreciate. Laban is also acknowledging the same, and he's saying our people are highly educated. Brother Barak, thank you so much, Laban, for your good comments. We appreciate. Good, but okay, I understand. It's thank you, Laban, for also giving us your take over there. We understand sometimes we do have a lot. We might not really find time, but again, we appreciate. Yeah, Laban is also a professor. In which docket, Laban? Maybe if you can share with us, that would be so nice. You know, in our circle, I think Barak here hopefully will be also becoming a doctor soon. We pray for him, and we are also not forgetting Dr. You know, we also have another doctor who is also a good friend of ours, Dr. Njiru, daktari mwenyewe. Yeah, so yeah, thank you, Gipsaikona, and I'm waiting for Laban to tell us he's a professor in which area, so that we can also acknowledge, you know, when mtu akitoka na kaenda na kasoma, lazima we have to recognize that. I want to be in today and Sunday doing pilgrimage walk. Gipsaikona, you know, we fall with you in the same, we go with you in the same church, and I can tell you that hata mimi juzi nilipata nafasi, nikaenda nikapata nafasi na Mungu from hiyo wakati nilikuwa nimepotea. Hiyo wakati nilipotea, hata mimi nilienda nilikuwa retreat ingine ambayo ilikuwa for 4 days, and we really had good time. spending time before Christ. And I think that is the best thing that we are called as humans. Sisi kama wanadamu tunafaa tuwe tunachukua muda yetu pia kutambua uwepo wa Mungu na kumtukuza, na unamtukuza, unakuwa na yeye kwa ile wakati ama harakati wa, when you give him time, when you take some time to just, have a conversation with the Creator. I think it's a nice thing that we should all embrace. And what you're doing, Gypsy Corner, utuombe. That is what I can say. Laban, we ni profesa, na ngoja uniambie wapi kabla tutamatishe tutoke hapa. I'm waiting to see. Yeah, so Gypsy Corner, as you go, I wish you all the best, and kindly, as you walk with Christ, remember the steps that Christ took. Remember, the many times, the life of Christ and how he started the journey and the sufferings that he underwent when he was going to be crucified. As you remember that, you pray for us as well, so that we may get the grace to be near and to always acknowledge his presence in our day-to-day activities. I don't know whether our good friend Laban is writing something or I should just go. Yeah, so today we were just having a discussion on, of course, matters of politics, about the reception that Rigathi Gachagua, the former deputy president, had in United States of America, where he's taken a break from Kenya. He said that he'll be away for almost 2 months. And, his presence here in Kenya has always caused a lot of, issues where the political class within the government side are saying that he's been doing some things which are not right. And so I think it's a good time that we also wait and see whether his presence is viable or not. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we did discuss today. And we really appreciate those of you who found time and joined us today. Allow me to say thank you so much, Gypsy Corner, once again. And to Laban also, thank you so much. I hope that we'll meet tomorrow. For those of you who will be there, I really appreciate you taking time to be with us and to joining us, giving us your comment, your take. We really appreciate. And therefore, now I'll take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. If you're new, just like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll really appreciate. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye for now.